with the flick throw everybody was talking about. He goes sub 200 yards. On this day after the game, Jeff Darlington with you-know-who, Melvin Gordon.
Well, Melvin, a week of adversity, including the change in offensive coordinator, met by the best game of your season. What was the difference in this game?
We was just real balanced today. They blocked well up front. We ran the ball well. We passed it well. We made our plays down the field. Everybody made their plays today, and the defense played phenomenal. Help, with the change of field and everything else like that. So, we played as a team today, as a unit on all phases.
Speaking of defense, I've watched Aaron Rodgers play the last 3 weeks, and he has looked brilliant. And yet today, the defense absolutely put him to a stop. What was it about what that unit did?
We got some great playmakers, man. Melvin, Bosa, all those guys, and Casey in the secondary, holding his own. We got a Dez making plays all over the field, special teams, everywhere. Guys played their butts out today. We played like the Chargers we know we are.
And you guys got a couple of wins put together now. What can this do for this team's momentum moving forward?
We just got to keep carrying it on. We won today versus a great team, but we still in the hole. So, we're not getting complacent. We ain't got no room for that. Right now our back is against the wall. It's still against the wall. It was a must win, and every game from here on out is a must win.
Melvin, great win too.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so just a quick reminder for the Chargers short week. They got the Raiders on Thursday, both teams coming off impressive wins today.
Yeah, and they were talking about the run game there, Melvin Gordon. You're talking about having fresh legs.
Right.
Who is the real Melvin Gordon? Because we've seen when he got back, we all expected, it might take a little while to get him going.
Right.
It's taken them a long time. And their running game in general has not been great.
Melvin Gordon can play. This whole team has struggled. And obviously when you're coming off of resting at home or of training at home and you haven't been in training camp, it takes a while to get acclimated. You also have to understand they were playing Austin Eckler and he was playing well. So he can't just jump right back in and get all the touches that he's used to getting. It's going to take time to get back acclimated to playing football and being in football shape. And we saw today that he was able to score on some easy runs from the goal line area, but he still needs to do more. He still needs to be more involved if he wants to be the Melvin Gordon that gets the Ezekiel Elliott, Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell money, which he was asking for.
He's a good player, not a great player. I mean, I think he's not the guys that Ryan just mentioned. I mean, he's not, which is why
he doesn't have the money.
It's true. It's also why, quite honestly, they've been as productive with Austin Eckler. I mean, that's how they have been. So I think, yes, who is he? I mean, I think he's a good player. He's a starting tailback in the National Football League. But I don't believe that he's in the same class as those other backs. And so when that's the case, oftentimes you need it to be blocked a little bit better than some of those other guys do.
Real quick, just thoughts on Rodgers. I know it's kind of an atypical game.
Your thoughts on Rodgers, it's fine. I think from the beginning of this season, we've made a little bit too much of this Matt LaFleur, Aaron Rodgers relationship because from a offensive standpoint, schematically, they're not doing things we've never seen. We're just watching him make throws that only Aaron Rodgers has made this year. And so he didn't have that type of day. He wasn't comfortable in the pocket, which I think he said in the post-game interview. And if you pressure any quarterback, if you get in his face and you don't allow him to step up, he's not going to be able to complete throws. He's not going to be as accurate as he's used to being. And that's what we saw from this team today. And I believe some of the lack in talent on the outside, some of the injuries they've suffered showed up a little bit because of that rush.
Yeah, they're playing young guys at receiver. They're playing guys that weren't going to be starters. I mean, let's face it, that's who they're playing.
They're pulling people off the practice squad, bro.
And I think that his post-game comments, I don't know this, but I'm reading into it as we are watching that, was addressing that a little bit. You're like, hey, our focus wasn't there. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the travel, it was the trip, or that kind of thing. If you live in Green Bay and it's been 20 degrees, okay, all right? You got daylight savings. That day's going to feel real short, okay? And all of a sudden, you're out in California. Like, maybe the focus wasn't there. And it's surprising to see Aaron Rodgers throw for 161 yards. I mean, that's surprising. But I think, especially coming off of, how they looked a week ago.
The other part is this, though. When you've played as well as Aaron Rodgers has played, right, you've won 2 big games back-to-back the way that they have, you start to feel really good about yourself. And you're playing a Los Angeles Chargers team that just finds different ways to lose every week, whether it's missed kicks, not scoring on the goal line, turning the ball over. They figure it out. And so you kind of get out to LA and you're like, you know what, man, we can go hit the right spot. We can go to crustaceans, right? And we can get some of that crab that they're going to peel out of the shell for us with some of those noodles. We could do some things. We could go to the iPick. They don't have one of those in Wisconsin. So we could do some things that we don't normally do because this team isn't playing well and we are. And so we saw some of that show up today.
And Matt LaFleur talked about, he said, this was a playoff team from a year ago. They have lost some close games. I do think there is an element of the Chargers being probably a little bit better than their record indicates.
That's
so
fair.
Sunday for the Packers, not good, but Saturday sounds like it was awesome for the Packers. They must have had a great time on Saturday.
Something? There's probably some truth there.
And if you need a restaurant reservation in LA, I mean, he's just
dude, you know everybody.
Man, I got you, man. Whatever you need.
Gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much. We'll see you both on NFL Live tomorrow. Still to come tonight. Remember the Lakers? Rodgers had that magical, perfect passer rating, 6 touchdowns. It was awesome last Sunday night in Kansas City. Today, a meager 11 points, sub 200 yards passing. Matt LaFleur knows where some of the blame might lie.
Yeah, we just talked about what we needed to do better. Really, when you look at it at the half, we were pretty fortunate to only be down 3-0. I mean, 9-0. It was a two-score game. Our defense did a good job of keeping the Chargers out of the end zone. Offensively, there was no rhythm whatsoever. I want to say we had 3 false start penalties, a delay of game, a couple sacks, and just never got into a rhythm, never really got into the plan. So again, but you got to give them all the credit in the world. We knew that they had a great team. They were a playoff team a year ago, and they've lost some really tight games at the end. I think they're a lot better than what their record indicates, but again, they were better in all phases of the game today.
Now, when Bosa started creating some of that pressure on you, what were your options at that point in terms of adjusting to what he was doing?
Yeah, we tried to make sure that we were sliding to him, and also did some stuff where we were trying to chip him off the edges. But certainly he was a big factor today.
Was play action
Okay, so all the attention is going to be on the Packers for the 11-point output, but I've always been amazed by the margins in the NFL. Last week, the Chargers win against the Bears on a missed field goal by Chicago. If they lose that game, they're 2-6. Mm-hmm. They win that game, they're 3-5. Their season's alive, and now they've beaten the Packers to go to 4-5. And you just say it was a complete team effort.
No, it was a complete team effort, but we've seen the Chargers lose so many ways that they needed both phases on offense and defense to make some plays. And here you're going to see a great play design. You're going to have 3 down linemen, and you're going to bring the nose to the opposite side, which allows Melvin Gordon, who's standing up right here, it allows him to get one-on-one matchup with the guard. We're going to also see Joey Bosa come up the field, back under. Gordon is going to attack the guard. Melvin Ingram is going to attack the guard and come here underneath and watch them converge on a sack of Aaron Rodgers. You're going to see them get upfield here. They have great one-on-ones with space, and you can't block those guys if they have those type of rush opportunities with two-way goals. And now we're going to see Phillip Rivers. We saw this play, and we saw it during the highlights, but watch how they set it up. It's going to be a 3 deep here by the Packers, so they know once Phillip Rivers has the fake and he's set up, he knows what he's getting from a secondary standpoint. Keenan Allen is obviously going to draw a lot of attention. We're going to get him across, which is going to draw the free safety out of the middle, which ends up giving you a one-on-one matchup on the outside with Mike Williams. We're going to see here as Mike Williams gets down the field, he has a one-on-one matchup. This is with Jair Alexander, who is a very good football player. This is what this guy is tall. This guy is not. And when that happens, you get a one-on-one 50-50 ball, and it's a pass caught by Mike Williams. Mike Williams was a very high draft pick from Clemson. We now see him coming along. He's overlooked because of Keenan Allen. What he can do from a route tree standpoint, some of the releases, great hands. But Mike Williams has been huge for this team.
That is a huge win for that Chargers team. And you talk about being 4-5 now. You switch over to a team like the Browns, who also need some wins. And oh my goodness.
Well,
this story is getting better and better if you're not a Browns fan.
Dana lost himself.
Opportunity to be resilient, and how is it going to be getting back to the Lambeau?
Yeah, this was, a good learning experience for us. We gotta come ready to play. I don't think we were locked in from the start, unfortunately, and I'm not sure exactly the reason, but I don't think the focus was there from the start. So we got to look in the mirror and be very honest about our performance, myself first, and then our offense and our energy and our attention to detail, and we got to get better.
How does that happen to a team like this? Last couple of years, you got a lot of young players. Last couple of years, you haven't been winning, and you're off to this great start. I think it can happen to a team like this.
I think it can happen to any team. I think I don't think it was complacency at all. I just think that, whether it's a trip, not everybody taking care of themselves the right way over the 2 days, or we're just tired, or the differences in temperature. But those are just excuses. And the facts are that we weren't locked in from the start, and that's a little disappointing.
Can you talk about the Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa and kind of the challenges they presented and how that could have caused a problem in the offense?
Yeah, they're great players. I mean, they didn't really. I think they pressured 1 or 2 times the entire game. A lot of 4-man rushes, and they got they got after us a little bit up front. So we gotta get back to protecting and throwing the ball on time and being accurate. And this is a good slice of humble pie for us. We're kind of rolling at 7-1 and starting to listen to the chatter maybe a little too much. So I think this will be a good thing for us. We'll regroup, go back home, and play another good team before the bye.
There's been games where you've had pass rushers, you've been able to slow them down a little bit with some of your fakes, and you've got sweeps, things like that. What happened today? Why couldn't you do that?
Well, I just think we had so many penalties. We're in such long yard situations, or we had good plays called on some of the false starts or the delay of game or what have you. We were just kind of beating ourselves. We had 3 possessions in the first half, and it seemed like 5 or 6 penalties on offense. So look no further than ourselves and our own preparation. Obviously I wasn't super comfortable in the pocket. Missed a couple throws I usually hit. We just didn't get into a rhythm, really.
That said, you guys didn't really get into your game plan. Do you think that's because of those penalties?